talked to a few people lately, contractors who are actively writing or paying people to write blog posts on their website. And one of these guys, he is paying an agency to write generic blog content, probably using ChatGPT. And at the same time, he's creating his own content. And what he's doing is he's creating like portfolio pieces. So he'll take one of his projects that he's completed. He's a remodeler. So he's got these beautiful remodeling projects. He's got all these pictures. And what he's doing is he's writing an article explaining what kind of project it was, what kind of materials they used, and all that kind of stuff. In my opinion, like that is the only kind of content that should be going on his website. All these generic blog articles of like how much does it cost to remodel your floor in Baltimore, like none of that stuff is going to do anything for him. There's too much of that BS content online. Nobody's going to read it. It's all AI generated anyway, so it's just valueless. But on the contrary, this content that he's making about his actual projects is valuable. People will read it and it will help his business. And so what I recommended to him is what I'm about to recommend to you now. And this content that you create can be used on, you could put it on your website. You can also post it on your Google business listing. I would do both things. And this is how I would do it. So I would look at all of the photos. I'd collect all the photos of a project together. And then I would have a little outline of what I plan to talk about. Because if you're going to do a whole bunch of these articles or portfolio pieces, you're going to want to have some kind of systematic way of putting this content together. What kind of things are your customers interested in reading about? So I would do like, who was the client? How did they find me? What were they trying to achieve? You know, were they building a home addition? Were they trying to extend their home because their family was growing and they didn't want to move? Like whatever their situation is, I would talk about that. And what I do is I have the ChatGPT app on my phone, and it has the best voice to text that there is. And so I just hit the voice to text button and I look through the pictures. I look through these questions that I'm going to answer for this article, who the client was, etc. And I'm just going to talk about all of it. And I'll tell the story of the client. I'll talk about when they got a hold of me. I went to their house. We looked at their project. I gave them an estimate. We went back and forth between these two designs, like whatever the story was, I would just tell it to ChatGPT. And then I would look through the photos, refresh my memory a little bit, and walk through some of the selections we made, some of the things we built, why we built them, the decisions we made, why we decided to do that instead of this, and just ramble on about this project. And then hit send to ChatGPT and ask it to turn this into a well-written article for my website. And I always tell ChatGPT, don't make anything up. Use my exact words whenever possible. Just take what I said and process it into something that is well written. And then post that on the website. And then I might say, okay, create 3 posts for my Google My Business listing based off of this article using exact segments from this article. And have it create a few GMB posts. And now I'll go post those on my Google business listing and I'll link back to my article. My goal when I do something like this is to make something that's high enough quality that when the next person calls me, I want to send them that article and have them read it because I think it will make them more likely to become my client. And if the content's good enough for you to feel comfortable actively sending it to people you know, people you come across, prospective clients, then you know it's good enough to exist in the first place, and it's going to help your business. And even if Google doesn't pick it up and show it to everybody, if you are actively sharing it and it's actively helping you make sales, then it's doing its job. But the thing is, when you make content of that quality, then Google will pick it up. It will pick you up. It will reward you for putting more valuable things on the internet, and it'll make you look better to your market. So that's the only kind of content I would create for my website as a contractor, not do any of these generic blogs. I wouldn't let AI create any content for me. I would only use it as a super advanced word processor to take my words, my stories, my opinions, my experiences, and turn them into well-written things that I can present to my potential customers.